episode 41 of the Datsun 521 Resto Mod. In this episode, I'm going to finish up the cross member on the coilovers, 300ZX coilovers in the rear, get the cross member all done, and then I think I start on modifying the struts, the 300ZX struts to fit that cross member, and then I'll show you that picture in a second. Oh, and then I actually do the rear bumpers. So do the rear bumperettes. I think most of the bumpers in this video, and also fix the noisy valve noise. So let me show you. Here's a little bit of after the test drive. No coil springs, just shocks. And this is a future episode. I'm putting in the Datsun rack and pinion. It's fitting really well with a D21 torch sway bar, but that's a future episode. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below if you want to see more videos. Got some other stuff done as well. It's in another video. I think I finally fixed the weird valve noises. I keep adjusting the valves and it doesn't make a difference if valves is kind of clattery. I don't think the oil was right in this engine. It seemed very light, so I finally bought some 2050 oil. Never used this Valvoline 2050 before. I've been using Valvoline for a few years now. I like this. It says for push rod, flat tappet, engines, classic cars, and racing. So 2050 is a little harder to find than it used to be. That's what I ran in my old Datsun, was Castrol 2050. And I'm using a filter I've never used before, Wix. It's actually American made. I've always ran Castrol or whatever it came in. So I'm trying Wix. Never had this brand before, but it's actually hard to find oil filters for this thing. But I got that one locally at, was it Riley's or Walmart or something. Can't remember, AutoZone. Anyways, the engine sounds a lot better. Let's see how that works out. Alright, so I just trimmed that. And now I've mounted on the back side. Got my level on there. Got my three wheel on here. Just 4 degrees. Yeah, it needs to go up just a hair more. That's 3. But I think that's where it's gonna go. Basically, I put some blocks in here, blocks of wood. It's gonna go right up against the body mount here. Some blocks of wood in here. I think I may go up a little bit more. The farther I go, actually I think I'm gonna go back. What am I doing? It's gonna go back. Yeah, it goes back. Just gotta get that angle correct. Shimming up some more steel spacers, but this is looking really good. I can't think of anything that gets in the way. Got room for a panhard in the future. I just measured it. The shocks are 16 inches long, fully extended to full droop. And then these things are adjustable, so as long as they'll fit. Obviously this is not a full droop right now. The weight of the truck is on it, so that's good. That means those brackets can come up. But and then the cool thing is, this represents the bed, because the bed has got a big rail right behind these brackets, you know, with the 1/4 inch spacer, the factory bushing. Even without the bushing, like obviously the bushing would be like here, right? Raise the bed up any 1/4 inch more. But even without the bushing, if I put the bed, see right there's a rail across, right behind these mounts. It seems to clear rather nicely. So I can still get my hand in here from the bottom to get those 2 nuts on. Obviously I could probably shorten this down some more. I wanted to put a cross member on this side, but I think there would be room actually to put a cross member on the other side to make this a double shear mount instead of a, but I don't think it's needed. The only thing I'm having trouble with is figuring out how to mount it, this body mount. I just cut this more, because I've got this lined up. Where's the tape measure? The shock is exactly 16 inches. So from that mount to that mount right now, I see just over 16. And that's on the angle that I want. Lines up pretty good. So pretty happy with that. Exactly what I want. Nice angle. I think it's 55 degrees, the factory shocks. And the bed will clear. So the tricky part now is how do I connect this round tube? I want to connect to the outside frame like the shock was. The shock was actually mounted to the outside frame rail because I just drilled a hole through this stuff. It looks like this one's a little bit thinner than that one, which is typical of Nissan trucks. I remember that when I did all the solid axle swaps. Thinner frame rail, even though it's boxed, it's not thick to the outside. And Nissan puts in thickening plates here and there around mounts. So I want to try to figure out, I could actually put a piece of steel through this hole and along the top, which would be kind of weird. I could do it from the bottom, but I'd have to flip the truck over. I hate why. I could put like a cradle U thing underneath here, kind of wraps around to get to that outer skin. I could put a big plate that connects this to that. But this is mostly connected to the thin one, only a little bit to the thick one. I'm probably overthinking this. I'm just kind of paranoid. I don't want anything to bend going down the road. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and... my original idea was just to kind of like plate this with some thick steel so I could connect to the outside rail and the outside rail and then put this on. But that doesn't really work back here because if you see, this inner frame rail actually gets wider back here than it is here. See, it's a little bit wider than the edge. It is wider down there too. So the inner frame rail, the inner side is actually, I just drilled a hole through that. It does seem to be a little bit thinner. Still probably thick enough to hold the weight of these springs. I mean, cars, unit bodies are like 20 gauge or whatever. They're barely 14 gauge. So, what should I do? I think I'm gonna weld it on. I just figured out how to reinforce it. All I gotta do is get the angle right, get it around 1 degree. Try to figure out where the hell do I measure the angle on that? This thing is my reinforcement plate, which is not exactly, I guess on top of here. Oh, this does have a V on it. No. Oh, there you go, 1.8. There we go. Just needs to go like another degree. Okay, let's get that dialed in and we'll tack it in. I got the right height, I got the right placement. Lines up. I think it's good. I think it is good. I think it's perfect. It's exactly what I want. Room for exhaust, panhard, shocks, spare tire. Everything seems to work. Oh, this is even higher than this now, so I don't have to worry about the tire. Probably should winch the tire back up, actually. You know what? Tire. Maybe I should. The tire has moved. Yeah, let's put the tire back on. Make sure before we weld this. Let's do that. Put the spare back on. Alright, so welded this back to this. I made some little pieces I cut out, and I just cut a 2-inch circle into it. Welded it back on, so now the tires are back on. And then I added just ran another bead of weld from one of the tops because I welded from the other side with the 110 welder. This is the 180 welder, 240. And then I decided just to make a little template, and then some thick steel. I think it's bigger than 3/4 inch, bigger than 1/8 inch. I mean, did the same thing over there. So I just weld that in there and I can grind that down. And now I've just decided, since the strut tower, I can't run another cross member here. It's just too busy. So that's why I originally made these so long. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut them down. Still, the coilover goes in like that from the bottom, obviously. I don't need any more than the mount. So I'm going to go ahead and shorten these down and cut them off. Get rid of some dead weight. As Grindhard Plumbing would say, less weight is better, right? Chop that off. Looks ugly anyways. Try to triangulate that back. And I think I'll be ready for some paint. Grind this down. And I got to figure out the bottom mount. Yeah, it's officially, I think, usable right now. So yeah, let me shorten those down. Still got to rework the muffler. That's another problem. Let's get those shortened down. I can get some, start grinding and start painting, make them look better. All right, so I cut off those pieces. Cut off some steel, threw a little light coat of paint on here, just to prevent from rust. And now I'm working on the lower mounts. Chopping off, some extra steel really made it look a lot better. So now I'm just trying to figure out the bottom mount. I got an idea. I took a piece of 2-inch inside wall steel. I don't know where it is now. And cut it in half. I'm using that for the lower mounts. So yeah, so technically the bed could go back on. But let me just get the lower mounts done. Alright, so I got one side done. Welded on the lower mount. That was a pain. I had to run to the store and buy some all thread. It's not lined up. There we go. Basically, I think that's lined up. Couldn't hold that bottom bracket the right way. It's just driving me nuts. So let me see if I can shine some light on it. And you see, that's my bottom bracket. So I took a piece of 2-inch inside diameter quarter wall square tubing, cut it in half. I'll cut it and make it flared, kind of like I did here later. But for now, just need to get the shocks on the same on both sides. So that should be the same angle as stock or close to it, stock shocks. And yeah, it's coming together. I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the other side tomorrow. So I think the future is through 3-link. I'm thinking about taking out some leaf springs. I don't know, I hate to take these packs apart. I'm not gonna use them, but I was thinking about taking out a leaf or two. So each leaf holds X amount of weight. So if I took out, what is there, 5 leaves? 1, 2, 3. Is there 4 or 5? Looks like there's 4 leaves. If I took out 2 of them, it'd make it softer, then I could put the springs in. I just gotta be careful not to have axle wrap, especially with the blocks. If I take out those, it's not gonna lower the truck. That may lower the truck as well. I don't know. Is that a light on? Oh, stupid light. Okay, let's plug this light in and charge it. I think we're done for today. Alright, so here's the before. Here's the factory coilover, whatever, coilover shock, lower mounts. I welded in this tab, but didn't end up liking that idea. So here's what's left of one of the two. Alright, so here we go. I think I got the lower mounts completed, mounted, welded on. I just threw some paint on there to cover the rust or prevent it from rusting. It's 45 degrees, and those were red hot a second ago. So that paint's just kind of temporary. I'm gonna cut those things down and make them a lot smaller. Angle them out, make them look a little better. But just gotta get the bed back on. And we'll put the shocks in without the springs, see how it is. So I've decided to use these upper control arm D21 bushings for my rear coilover lower mount bushings. So these are about 1.6, like 42 millimeters or something, outside diameter. So I have some 2-inch quarter wall steel, a whole bunch of it. So I cut off a sliver, used a guide to get them exactly 1.5 inches. This is basically 1.5 inches. The outside diameter, the flat spot here, 1.6. But they don't quite fit. I can't find some steel the exact size. Try to ream it out a little bit, but it's too thick. So I've done this trick before. Is I just put a slit in it with a cutoff wheel and run a wedge down, kind of expand the mild steel out, make it kind of snug. Then I'm just going to weld this back up, and I'll weld this onto the bottom of the coilover shock, and I'll have custom Nissan bushing style coilovers. So let's get this welded up. So here's my idea for the bumperettes. I'm going to take a piece of 2-inch. I like to use 11 gauge, but I don't have any. Got some 14 gauge in stock, I think. So I think I'm going to make a 12-inch piece for the inside, and then 39.5-inch piece for the frame. Alright, so I've just started my bumper. It's bumper bracket. I'm using some 2x2, it's 14 gauge. And got it mocked up with some jack stands. The bumper's gonna look kind of like this. So I figured out I need a 7-inch piece here, 52-inch piece here. And these are 12 inches. So 4 7s, 152, and 2 12s. And then I gotta make the brackets that connect to the frame. And there's basically 2 bolts in the bumper. So I'm putting a 12-inch piece in here. So let me show you. Now I gotta weld this together. I think it's gonna look good though. Let's see if I can show you what it's gonna look like on the side. Pretty much matching the lines on the front, how far it sticks out. If you look down the side of the truck, see the bumper is exactly flat with the side of the truck. So this is the final design. You can see that piece I just tacked on. And one of these, I've already drilled the holes for the bumper. That goes the outside. So I think it's something like this. And then this side is just, mocked up. Looks kind of ugly, but you're not going to be able to see it. You'll only see the end piece. I was going to make it out of some 3/16 or 1/4 inch and put a hitch down right below the plate. I may do that in the future, make another one of these out of thicker wall, but I just had this steel left over, so I figured let's use it. It's good stuff. So like the bumperettes will bolt onto those 2 pieces. So you won't see that. That'll be like 100% inside the bumperette. You'll be able to see a little bit of that and a little bit of this, the license plate's in the middle. I think that's strong enough, good enough. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the solution. So let me just think I'm gonna weld. I guess it doesn't matter where this one goes on. I'll weld this one on there. This one's kind of critical. And then obviously the last 2 pieces is the 2 tabs that connect to the frame. It's literally touching the frame right here, but it's not under the frame, it's literally right here. So I gotta make some flat stock there. I need some cardboard for that. I was gonna use square tube in there, but it'd be a nightmare to get in and out. You wouldn't be able to, like I did on my other bumpers, like my D21 bumper. I slid square tube into the frame on the Pathfinder. 2 Pathfinder rear bumpers I made. I can't do that because the frame is actually higher than the body. Normally if the frame is lower than the body, I could slide it in. So, let's get to welding. So I'm putting this thing, it was 10 inches to the center. 10 inches to the center, so that'd be 9, 11. I just get rid of the paint. Do that again, do everything twice. Now it's 9 inches. 11 inches. So that's where that piece goes. Where's the top and what's the bottom of this thing? I've got the welded seam down on this one. So I'll do the welded seam down. Put a little clamp. Keep that square to that. Keep that square to that. I think I got my welding helmet on. It's 40 degrees right now. It's gonna be 21 or something tonight. So I can't do it later. Should I weld it fully? So I decided to change my mind. Ugh. I always do this to myself. I weld it fully, then I change my mind a little. So, trying to resist the urge to weld this up. I'm going to do what I should do and fully tack the whole thing up before I go crazy welding. Put the welded seam down just for whatever reason. Of course, this spline doesn't fit now. No, it doesn't. Now this doesn't matter where it is because the bumper bolts to these two holes. And this has obviously got some movement. I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like that. So I'm going to put it on the end. I hope I don't regret it. I'll just put it on the end. Can't make it square easily unless I put the thing on the table. Shoot, wow, the sun's actually coming out. It's been out for like 3 days. I should go outside. The sun is out. You know what it looks like. You can actually see. Oh, I like it. Cool. I've never bought steel with this painted primer on before. It actually welds easily. I made a fence with this stuff like a year ago. This is the leftovers. I don't even remember. Well done. Alright, last one. Look at that. I just deleted it. Okay, so the welded seam is up this time. Don't know if it's square. I need a smaller square. Or I don't care. Seems like it's square. Here's my ground. I don't know if there's a ground inside there or not. Sit, stay, stay. Alright, there's one fully weld. I'll regret that later. Now I just got to double, triple check that before I weld these last ones on, it is where I want them. Should I just weld these on now? What the hell? I don't know. I'll tack them on. How about that? I'll tack them. Tack it gently. So that says outside. So this is obviously the back. That's the outside. So I think I'll, oh shoot, how did I have this? I don't know if this looks like that or like that. I don't know. I don't think I could tack these on yet. I don't know where these go. I think I had it the center of this was the center of this hole, I think. That lines up. Let's tack it like that. Baby tacks. Okay, what did I say? I'm gonna put, I think this hole was lining up with the center of that 10 inches. Yeah, so this hole lines up there. That's how I had it. Yeah, that's, I got this all mocked up good. Ground, please. Can't believe the sun is out. Melt my clamp. Man, that was terrible. See a thing. Okay, that's enough to hold it together. Okay, I'm not gonna do the left side, just the right side. It's the right side of the truck. Go put it on the truck. Okay, that's the final product. Yeah, I remember that hole lined up with the thing, so now I gotta make the big brackets. Let's make the brackets. I need cardboard. Cardboard. Oh, you want to see something funny? So here's what the bumper's gonna look like. So this goes, yeah, this goes completely inside, like that. And it comes with these rubber bumperettes, and I think these are to hold the, for the license. The tailgate, so it doesn't tailgate, it doesn't have the bumper. I think that's what the rubber's for. And I've got tons of old D21, WD21 bumperette bolts. The funny thing is, or the sad thing is, I thought for sure these were gonna work. They're actually, the square is just a tiny bit off. I could make those bigger, but they're not chromed. I did have some chrome ones at one time from my 720 or something. I think I'm just gonna put Allen head bolts that match the rest of the truck since I already have a million on this thing. Probably 5mm, maybe 6. So that's the plan. I just bought 2 of them.